Thanks for watching ERi-TV, dear viewers. Welcome to our news broadcast. Here are the headlines. Workshop on seed potato certification protocols, sports material. Support to higher education institutions and research. U.S. militarization in West Asia reaches unprecedented levels. And OPEC announces larger than expected oil output increase. In our domestic news, the Ministry of Agriculture conducted a workshop on seed potato certification protocol validation on 3 April in Asmara. The workshop was attended by vegetable and fruit development experts from the Ministry of Agriculture Central Office, regional branches, as well as from Hamad Manu College of Agriculture. Mr. Taghlab Mizguna, Director General of Regulatory Services at the Ministry of Agriculture, stated that the workshop is part of the initiatives undertaken by the National Committee established in 2014 to distribute improved potato seed. Mr. Taghlab further noted that the workshop will provide significant input in refining the regulatory draft to ensure the quality of potato seed distribution to farmers. He added that the draft regulation advises farmers to refrain from planting unofficial and unverified potato seed varieties and to instead use those endorsed by agricultural research institutions. Participants engaged in extensive discussions on the reports presented and adopted various recommendations. The National Olympics Committee of Eritrea has extended sports material support worth approximately $40,000 to higher education institutions and research in an effort to strengthen the institution's sports programs. Mr. Mikhail, President of the National Olympics Committee, stated that the committee is actively working to establish a strong partnership with international stakeholders in order to benefit from available opportunities and support. Highlighting the contribution of the materials to the development of sports and the promotion of Olympic values, Mr. Mikhail urged colleges to play an active role in advancing sports activities in the country. Ambassador Zamed Takhla, Commissioner of Culture and Sports, emphasized the importance of strengthening relations with higher education institutions and research and commended the National Olympics Committee for its initiative. Dr. Hailem Hatzoun, Executive Director of the Higher Education Institutions and Research, stressed that beyond academic achievement, the objective of the colleges is also to promote sports. He called for the organization of regular sports events using the newly provided support as a foundation. Dr. Amina Takhlai, Secretary General of the National Olympics Committee, stated that the donation includes materials for athletics, football, basketball, volleyball, and ground tennis, with the aim of supporting the development of these 5 sports. Eritrean nationals in the Italian cities of Torino, Catania, Napoli and Padova organized seminars to discuss the role and contribution of the Diaspora nationals in the development of the education sector in Eritrea. The seminars in Torino and Padova were led by Mr. Girmay Habte Mikhail, Head of Public and Community Affairs at the Eritrean Embassy, Mr. Kubrom Haile, Secretary of the PFDJ in Italy, and Mr. Milion, Chairman of the Eritrean Community. Participants received in-depth briefings on the history and progress of education in Eritrea, the progress made during the armed struggle and post-independence, as well as the challenges faced. Similar seminars were conducted in Napoli and Abruzzo, led by Mr. Ogbay Fremedin, Chairman of the National Committee, and Mr. Haile Medhanie, Chairman of the YPFDJ. In Catania, seminars were led by Ms. Alganish Abebe, Head of the National Union of Eritrean Women in Italy, and Mr. Arafai Barahi, a member of the National Committee. The participants expressed their readiness to contribute to national development efforts and made financial contributions towards the project for construction of boarding schools. And it is worth noting that similar seminars were previously held in Rome, Milano, Bologna, Bari and Pescara. Additionally, Eritrean nationals in Saudi Arabia, organized under the White Association, conducted a meeting to review past activities and outline future plans. They also contributed financially to the project for the construction of a boarding school in Eritrea. That was our domestic news. Please stay tuned now for the international news right after the short break. The U.S. military has broken the record for militarization in West Asia by carrying out its largest offensive deployment to the region since the start of Israel's war on Gaza and Lebanon in October of 2023. According to the Israeli newspaper, the U.S. has beefed up its military presence in West Asia by sending additional squadrons of fighter jets, stealth bombers, and larger quantities of weaponry in recent weeks. The deployment amounts to roughly 50% increase over the previous month's peak in U.S. military flights to the region. It also includes transport and refueling aircraft as well as numerous fighter jets from bases in the U.S. and Europe. At least 100 U.S. F-35, F-15 and F-18 fighters are stationed in the UAE, Qatar, Jordan and Saudi Arabia and aboard the USS Truman. The USS Carl Vinson strike group is also on its way to the region. According to aviation data from March, U.S. military flights to Israel has increased, while more Israeli flights are retrieving munitions from U.S. and European bases. U.S.'s militarization in West Asia is to secure its security, military and economic interests in the region, analysts speculate. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and its allies, collectively known as OPEC Plus, announced yesterday that they will increase oil output by 411,000 barrels per day in May, exceeding expectations. According to a statement on the OPEC website, the decision was made during a virtual meeting where members countries including Saudi Arabia, Russia, Iraq, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Kazakhstan, Algeria and Oman assessed global market conditions and future prospects. The OPEC Plus countries had originally planned to raise output by 135,000 barrels per day in May as part of a plan to gradually unwind their most recent layer of output cuts. However, the group adjusted its strategy, citing, quote-unquote, the continuing healthy market fundamentals and the positive market outlook. The statement also noted that the gradual increase may be paused or reversed, subject to evolving market conditions. Initially announced in November of 2023, the 2.2 million barrels per day production cuts were introduced for the first quarter of 2024. The cuts have been extended multiple times since then, with the latest extension pushing them through the first quarter of 2025. That was our news for tonight. Please stay tuned now for the recap of tonight's headlines. Workshop on seed potato certification protocol. Sports material support to higher education institutions and research. U.S. militarization in West Asia reaches unprecedented levels. And OPEC announces larger than expected oil output increase. That was our news. It is good night from us.